How do you complete a proxy form in an insolvency as a creditor or a shareholder? The purpose behind the form is to enable a creditor or a shareholder to vote on an item of business in an insolvency procedure such as liquidation, administration, company voluntary arrangement, bankruptcy, IVA, CVA, etc. Now then, this form is a formal form for the voting purposes, and it has to be completed correctly. If it's not, it will have to be redone. More often than not, albeit the fact that the convener or the chairman of the meeting does have a degree of discretion. But, to put it into perspective, in the old days when everything was done by paper, this form must have been responsible for the more trees being chopped down than any other form in insolvency. Such was the confusion and the issue with people tending to get it wrong in terms of what they actually wanted and intentions for the form to be filled in correctly and validly. And it's important that it's got right. So we're going to go through it slowly. At the top of the form, you will see it talks about the company name. Now, this is the company or the individual, but we're talking about in the concept of a company that is going into liquidation, administration, and so on. And this is right at the very top of the form where it says company name. You've then got the company registration number. Again, that is the company number that you get from Companies House of the company going into liquidation, or that might already be in liquidation if that is the case. And then the important bit is you, as in the creditor or the shareholder. This particular form is focused on a creditors meeting where creditors will vote on the appointment of liquidator remuneration, things of that sort, and so on. So the important thing is don't forget your name. If your name's not on there, people don't know when they're looking at this form, and there could be hundreds of other creditors in some cases, if not thousands in other cases. People won't know who is voting. So you must identify where it says the name of. Now, you need to put your address down so that you identify yourself properly. And so now the next bit of the form, as you'll see, is where it talks about the proxy holder. Now, the proxy holder means that the person who is voting, they're actually physically present at the meeting. So let's think of a couple of scenarios. Imagine you've got a meeting clash. You're a director of a company, you've got a meeting clash, you're a one-man band director, you've got an employee, for instance, and you've got a meeting clash, and you can't attend the creditors meeting. But you want to vote, because it's important to you, and you want somebody else to vote for you. So what you can do is you can name a proxy holder. That person can physically attend the meeting for your company to do the voting as you want. Now, there is an alternative to you sending an employee or fellow director and so on, and that is you can actually put in proxy holder number 1 chairman of the meeting or convener, or the name of the person who is the chairman or the convener of the meeting, and that person can vote as you instruct. Now, there are some other options available to you. You can see that there is 1, 2, 3 proxy holders that you can fill in there. And the reason for that is, let's imagine a scenario where you intended to attend that meeting, but nevertheless you accept that things go wrong in this world, and you provided very, very carefully in case you were, heaven forbid, run over by a bus. Okay, so what you might have done is you might have put your name in proxy holder number 1. You might have then put in proxy holder number 2 your employee who's coming to the meeting with you. But suppose your employee was in the same bus as you, and you were both run over by a bus, and you nevertheless still wanted to be sure that a vote would take place. You might not be worried about it when you're at the bottom of the South China Sea, but nevertheless, Other circumstances, less dramatic, less traumatic, can arise where the first two proxy holders are not able to attend, illness, etc. And you have proxy holder number 3, where you put the convener, chairman of the meeting, another option available to you. Okay? That deals with the proxy holder, and then it talks about the voting instructions for the proxy holder, and you either put an X in here or an X here, depending on how you want them to vote, the level of autonomy and discretion that you want the person who's voting for you or for your company to have. And you can see on this point that one option is the proxy holder instructed to vote, etc., and the other one is the proxy holder may only vote as directed. Now, the next bit is the classic appointment of liquidator by a creditor position, where you can see at the top of the form there is in the voting the decision number 1 for the appointment of the relevant liquidator. You can see in red in this template form there's my name and there's the address of Oliver Elliott. And that enables you to put the liquidator's name that you want to be appointed at the creditors' meeting. The second thing is the creditors' committee, if you want to appoint a creditors' committee. And then the third one is about the liquidator's remuneration. Again, you will see I am in favour or against, where you've got to actively vote. Okay, it's not a matter of just signing at the bottom and dating the form. You actually have to put crosses, circle, and actively participate in the voting. Otherwise, your votes don't count because people don't know what you intended. So, if you made it this far, and you got down to the bottom of the decision, you see another vote up above, and then you got your signature and date, your name in capitals, and then your position. Now, the position causes a bit of confusion because if you are a company and you are signing that proxy form, you will be signing that proxy form typically either as director of the company or as an employee or as perhaps legal representative if you've got an internal legal department, and so on. And you have to put the position there. Different in terms of your relationship to the creditor. If you are the creditor as an individual, then you just simply need to put the word creditor here, as you can see in this particular example. And that's it. Voila. That is your proxy form sorted. Email it over to the liquidator, administrator, or insolvency practitioner's office, and your vote should be counted. Questions, queries, concerns, give us a shout. We know insolvency inside out.